Namaskaram. So we have Dr. Mansi with us. Mansi, this is a contextual video helping our students who are interested to become a CA in 2025. So most of them have one classic version, one group or both groups, which translate into one attempt or 1 year. So that is the scenario. So this is what we offer them once they come and join us in the residential mentorship. So we mentioned that they will be able to become a CA in one attempt or 1 year. So this is a scenario. Apart from this, these are some of the questions which automatically will get answered during the conversation here. So one attempt or 1 year, how much time do they need? And normally you keep seeing we get a lot of calls. We may not be able to respond to them. And also we take significant amount of time to process each application. It takes around 2 to 3 weeks from the point of application. And finally, most of them start with how much do we charge? And we won't be able to answer it at the starting point. And all these questions will be addressed during the conversation. So if you're watching this, these are some of the questions which get addressed. The approach to this is, as I said, so we are taking 11 applications, 11 admissions for him 11, for which we got around 1153 applications. It's almost 1 is to 100 in terms of the application ratio. We're not even counting in the phone calls, messages, mails. These are all proper applications, so it could be even more. But at least the ratio is 1 is to 70. So that is normally the kind of application ratio. And when we say one attempt, this is what I mean. So let's say somebody is writing in May of that particular year, they can join anywhere between the previous December. For example, for the upcoming May, they can join in December, they can join in January, and February is the hard stop. We need at least 3 months. Unless they're writing one group, we would require at least 3 months. Same with for November, for example, November, they can join from June, July, August, and all of that at any point. And 1 year means it's 10 months or 2 attempts. So this is the time frame answer. So this is also for people who are watching this. So this is the scenario. And what we aim to do is, whether it's one attempt or 1 year, by the time they're entering the examination hall, they should just carry a pen and they should be able to solve any problem which comes into the main exam. So this is exactly what I'm looking at. Now coming to the scope of this video. So these are my aspects. So this is what we specialize in: syllabus completion, revision, exam presentation. And mindset and routine, the manifestation of the attitude and the action of the behavior part is what we're taking care of. So this is exactly how we divided this, the psychological factors and subject factors. So I wanted to come in and mention about the mindset and routine part. So before that, I would just like to quickly give an overview about these aspects for you and also for the people who are watching this. Okay, yeah. So these are the three skills which ICA expects to develop Mansi. So comprehension knowledge, analysis and application, evaluation synthesis. I think even in medicine, some of the skills might get tested. So these are the skill sets. This gets tested in various subjects and various formats, whether it's MCQ or also descriptive. So this is the range of skills ICS takes. And these are the subjects. Now when I say subjects, these are uniform for all the students. So whether it's X or Y, we can't change the subjects. We can't change the, I would say, difficulty level of this question papers. No, this is MCQ paper and this is descriptive. So this cannot be changed. This is same for all. Subjects are same, question papers are same. Similarly, at final level, we have this 5 papers, and paper number 6 is a combination of all papers. So 5 papers is what they have to master. Now, in terms of the 3 steps, so syllabus can largely get completed either in 7 or 10 days. So here we do it intensively. So once they're in the right frame of mind, since most of the people who come here are repeaters, 7 to 10 days is enough to build a decent pace to get to 40. If not, one more additional cycle is required. So we can look at 7 to 14 days. That's about it. And revision, we kind of do multiple cycles. Our 5-time revision technique is famous. So revision is also sorted for most of the students. And exam presentation, some of them are good at writing the first 1 hour. When I say if the preparation is average, 1 hour can go well. It's above average, 2 hours. If it's good, they can write 3 hours. Otherwise, they won't know what to write. So they'll just wait for it. That's about it. And in terms of revision, let's say we have techniques like this, which will help them resolve the memory issues. So this is also sorted. And for example, the starting point and ending point for people who start with, a total of 90 to 100. So this is the earliest score before the joining. It's around less than 190. Eventually, it became 196. This is a good case scenario. 2x 90 to 196 is almost 2.2 times. But normally, we can achieve 1.5 times easily for most of them. They join around 100, they'll end up getting 150, 160. This is what happens. And this is also an extreme case where somebody cleared after 12 attempts. But normally, people come here after 3 to 4 attempts, they can clear. This is what happens. And finally, coming to this aspect, Mansi, like we are heavily focused on these aspects of the cognition. So this is exactly what we address using our learning techniques. Now, this is a scenario. Until now, we were handling it ourselves. Now, thanks to you, you're taking care of it professionally. This is the segment which you're taking care. And these two are common for all, Mansi. But because of their psychology, they are not able to utilize their internal resources, time, energy, attention with them. So this is exactly what is happening. Yeah. And finally, now you have to elaborate on this, but to the extent we understood, these are the distortions. Like we kind of see this aspects very commonly in most of the students. So these are some of the distortions which I was able to notice. And the classic problem, the stress, anxiety, and depression, 90% of students have it. And this is the problem. Now, number one, they share some of the details in absolute good faith. We cannot share it with anyone or even with their parents. Sometimes they're not even comfortable sharing with their parents. So this is where the conversation starts. If they share certain things, let's say they might have a past relationship failure or suicidal tendency, they have that, and we know that, but we can't share it with their parents because they're not comfortable. But that will impact the results. So in this scenario, how do we normally deal with this? Because this is a unique scenario. So this is where.
So these are two very extreme things that we're discussing. But I would like to say that first of all, acknowledging that they are coming out with this kind of information to us itself is a very big thing for them. For us, it may be an information, but for them, it is a piling up of a lot of events that have led them in this particular situation. And now that maybe for some people, they must have thought that, okay, this is my final attempt. Now, if this doesn't work, nothing works.
Yes.
Or maybe for some people, like some students that I've come across, maybe they need to have a certain higher score in a subject because of their failures in previous attempts. So in these situations, this one particular part becomes a priority when they're preparing. Preparing in a setup which is very enclosed, like the one that we have, where there is no distraction at all. So that kind of thoughts keep coming inside their mind. When it comes to informing or not informing parents, it completely depends upon the intensity of what a person is going through and how much are those problems temporary, like just stress based or panic attack based, like just very acute, or they have been there, right? So information revealing comes from that particular fact. Now these are very extreme cases. When you talk about suicidal tendencies, it's a very extreme case, and we haven't dealt anything like that. But if we deal this information, definitely anybody would pass on to the near and dear ones.
Because the reason why I wanted you was last batch we had it for a couple of students.
Yeah, but those were not that extreme, right? So first part, like when I have started working with students out here, my first thing is evaluation. Right? Evaluation on the basis of what kind of conversations that they are having and what kind of issues they have been having. And mostly what I understood from the whole conversation is that extreme tendencies, which we
Yes.
are right now discussing, weren't that extreme.
No, we did not meet those two students.
Okay, with the ones that you're talking. So, okay, with the ones that I'm talking, I'm only talking on the basis of that. Okay, so can you move it to the previous slides? I would like to explain it in a way, a flowchart, so that it is very much relevant, under, anybody could understand from that one particular thing. So, just go to the one
Emotions.
back. Yeah, okay. So, anybody who's coming here to clear CA or is coming after failed attempts obviously has a lot of unprocessed emotions, unprocessed, the thought process, and the decision is completely based on that one particular thing. Now let's look at this one situation from the other side. I want to become a CA, whatever it takes. Okay, if I come with a attitude, or if I come with a thought process, to I want to become a CA, and maybe this institute is going to aid it, or the way he said, it can boost it, mentor it, and get me there. There will be hurdles. Like every person has a very different nature, perception, idea of the institute. So I feel that first having an idea of the institute is very necessary. That the institute's idea depends on making your preparation the best preparation, but the other problems that underlie, right? They can be sorted and they cannot be sorted, but the focus should be on the preparation and why are you here. I being here because I want to be a CA, and I being here because my parents want me to become a CA will cause a lot of difference when you come here for preparing, because you will be here in this environment. There will be zero distractions. The only thing you are doing is studying, and we all know that it's a pressure test. So it will come out in a way that you're preparing for 8 to 9 hours. So then you start getting distracted with other small things, or other people around you, and we address everything here, everything. But the idea of coming here should be that you want to become a CA first. So when we talk about this diagram, the first part of it, your in so when Himkan sir spoke about the reading, focus, attention, memory, processing, everything, but there are other parts to it also, like communication, insight, planning, judgment, confidence. This all will come from why are you here, right? Why are you here? Then the second part, the emotion part. Okay, when your why are you here is very sorted, every little battle you will not like to fight. You will be fighting the battle of your examination, right? Your competition will your focus will be on that. So can we move on to the next slide? And suppose we all have downs, right? We all have downs. Like today, I'm the one working here to address all of these things, and they will get addressed and acknowledged, but not to a level that it affects your preparation again, right? So whatever is mentioned here, it will come, it will be acknowledged. But again, I come back to the same point, that every application that comes here should be out of how much am I ready to put in with the kind of aid that I'm getting, that I will clear this attempt out, and what new am I doing to clear my attempt. So this is the next part of it. Third slide, can you? The next one. So, yeah, a very interesting thing that he's put is about the distortions. Distortions are the mental blocks that you generally face when you're preparing, or you're unproductive, or maybe you start thinking that, maybe I cannot make it, or this is the reason that I've not been able to make it till now. But again, all of this can be addressed, right? Everything that's written here can be addressed. So the black and white, the polarized thinking was very much prevalent till now, which I have been working in each and every student. So nothing can be perfect, but everything can be worked out. So coming with that attitude, everything can be sorted. But coming with a very rigid idea of having something, nothing can be sorted. It's not about this institute per se, it's about life, right? So yeah, the next one. Now stress, anxiety, depression. Somewhere every human being goes through phases, different cycles. Some people cope up, some can't cope up. When you can't cope up, it comes out in these ways. These are very big words. Diagnosis. Generally, we don't do it here, but when you are seeing a person, we know that what he or she is going through, right? Our work will again be to inform, if it is very necessary, to work if it is on a very mild level of symptoms that anybody is having. But if you come here with a lot of dysfunctional mindset, and it's not you are coming here with that. People get into it. It is as natural as you getting any kind of fever, injury, anything. So addressing this And coming also works the best for you because now your brain is more productive. But when you're coming, you're informing, that is also enough for anybody to understand what you're going through. And in that 6 months or 3 months, even a part of it can be addressed. So yeah, so this is my whole idea about how the thing works and how it should be working. Over to you.
So, Manju, thank you for the clarification on this. So, earlier when I looked at this, so when we started, the idea was to address it reasonably.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the subject will make you clear, right? Whether it's medicine or CA.
Exactly.
But what we noticed is somehow we are creating a vibe that certain type of people who have gone through a lot are actually coming. Because I think we are attracting or we are communicating that message that, okay, nobody's taking care of this, nobody is addressing it. Probably the life school part is also helping.
Yeah.
So now, between 1 year ago and now, what I'm thinking is, no matter what we do here, like, because once people come here, they're forced to put an effort. So it's an effort guarantee program before result guarantee program. Efforts are guaranteed here. So this effort which we are putting in, the students, the parents, mentors, subject experts, study buddies, and senior mentors, everyone together as a team, it's not reflecting in the answer sheets.
Right.
Largely. Because in the main exam, again, in the marks which they are writing here, they are doing it well. But in the main exam, when I actually check, this is the certified copy of ICA. So when we check this, what they have written, multiple students, we're seeing some gaps in what they're actually capable of
And what's happening?
and what's happening in the paper. So now I have reasons to believe that their internal mindset, because when I was dropping one of the students in the exam, he was sweating continuously. He was palpitating, sweating, and all. When I asked him, until then, I never saw it. Because there are some people where we get some hints. That happens only during the main exam for him. And that day, since I was dropping, I came to know about it. Otherwise, it would be very hard for me to perceive. So, do you believe, or for an organization, now is there a correlation between this, and how much should we worry about it?
Yeah, so that's what working on the mindsets in the very first day. So right now, what we are doing, the kind of work is not only emotional work. Working on mindset is also something we are doing. How to deal stress when you are giving a mock test also. That needs to be addressed. So obviously the mindset part works, but they're not aware of it.
Yes.
Right? The awareness is not there that this sweating is stress, or the awareness that okay, this is just a part of it and you're going to give exam. So there's an apprehension before giving the exam. There's some kind of people just go blank before giving exam. But this thing we've addressed in the previous batch and now also that when you're writing papers here also a pressure test, that paper should also be assessed what is missing, why it is missing, how it needs to be addressed in the routine. So yes, it is definitely one of the part. And when I say routine, what I start doing in the month of March for the May exam, I should be able to start in the month of Jan, and that is where it all works. So working on a cognitive side of it, micro planning every scheduling like they are doing for their subjects will definitely have an impact on the routine. And when they are set up into that routine, and exam only becomes a routine for them, then the mindset will definitely change about giving the exam on a whole. So yeah, what you asked me, it definitely affects. We as a we like me in psychology and you working on subjects are doing the best even to work on this part, right? Sometimes it gets resolved in a month, but sometimes it does take time because a lot of things, like an iceberg, we just see the tip of the iceberg. So for some people, it takes a little bit more time to get it addressed, but it just is very important factor that we have to work together with working on the subjects.
So you can correct me if I'm wrong, because for this, the delta is not significantly different. Let's say for person X it takes 7 days, for person Y it takes 14 to 15 days.
Correct.
Maximum 1 week is the difference between somebody of this capability and this capability. Most of the cases.
Okay.
Eventually, when we have to decide this, I think this makes a bigger difference than this. Am I right about it?
Yeah, so one thing I would like to mention here, if you think that you are a person who takes more time to settle into a new place, more time to settle into a new routine, you need to come a month earlier than other people are coming.
Yes.
If you are a person who has already had a mindset of okay, 3 months I'm gonna stay without anything and my focus is studies,
Right.
you come at that particular time. But if you want everything to be addressed, it cannot be addressed in that particular 3 or 4 months of time. Then 6 months or whatever time you're taking is mandatory. And to acknowledge that okay, I'm going to take that much of time to address these issues as well as to study
Yes.
is something that's very important, and that kind of awareness is needed when you're joining any kind of institution. So, yeah.
So back to the original classic question.
Yeah.
Now, so it makes sense for us to tell them a bit later, right? Because initially, if you're not sure, like let's say when we have to conceptualize this program,
Yeah.
so our proposition is give us a year. If it's possible to clear in one attempt, we'll do it. Otherwise, it has to go to an year.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think this makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what I said, self-awareness. See, it's not about if it's not about the institute itself. It is about how much are you willing to take from the institute.
Yes.
Because the institute is going to provide the same material that it is providing the other 20, 30 people that are coming or other 11 people that are coming. Now, how much is your mind or your brain ready to be receptive, right? So this kind of question needs to be answered after a certain level of evaluation. Right, that giving one group, two groups, or that evaluation. Or I always specify a lot on quantifying things.
Yes.
When you quantify, you understand, and you're more comfortable also with the whole idea, and you're at peace. It is not out of a decision out of hurry. It is not a decision because you joined an institution, and it should not be a decision because somebody wants you to do it.
Right.
It should mostly be about your own awareness of how much can you do a particular thing at that time.
So finally, this is why it takes so much time. So we process our applications very slowly when a student joins.
Yeah.
The next 7 to 10 days, we don't take any of the student until this student settles down. This is one. That's why we can't respond to your calls on this one. And finally, one of the reasons is because in the initial conversation, whether it's from the subject side or even after looking at the papers, it's very hard to know everything about them because the state of mind constantly changes and also a lot happens after writing the exam 1 month down the line. And the graph goes like this.
Yeah.
So until we understand what exactly is the scope of the problem, again, clearing CA is simple, but based on you, it becomes complicated, right? Like this is the benchmark. And for someone, we just have to bridge from here to here. For someone here, it's a longer journey with a lot more mental and intellectual efforts required, and also the risk which we take on for that student. So that's why we cannot have a direct menu like a restaurant, like this is this. That's why we have to work on all the students and all. So now, for somebody who is watching this, is it enough information to understand why we do what we do, or do you want to add on something?
So this information is enough. But only one thing that I would like to tell you is that okay, whatever work we are doing right now and the video that you are listening to, one thing you have to be very clear when you are coming here, that when your sir or your parent is asking you why are you here, your answer should be preparation. This is the last thing I would add. If you are coming here with an idea of preparation, everything else
It is alright. Yes. Okay. So finally, so this is the context one. So now, as an external psychologist, you have observed, you have saw the team, you work with the mentors. So now you can be very open and honest here. Do you believe that if somebody gives us 1 year, then one attempt again, it depends on a lot of factors. But in 1 year, do you believe that they can become a CA? That comes back.
If in that one particular year, this preparation, coordination with the mentor, evaluating your own performance, taking evaluation as a very constructive criticism. See, nobody is going to come and tell you about your level. You
Right.
have to go and ask, right? Still, here we have a lot of work that we do, that we are personally talking to mentors, we are personally talking to students, we are coming up with compatible buddy system,
Yes.
we're coming up with a very disciplined way of learning, and also Sir's method is completely based on his own practical experience. So to reach up to that, sometimes I see students, they are very bright, but reading is
Yes,
one
is
of
the
the
problem.
issue, right?
Yeah.
So you reaching to that level of reading can also take 2 to 3 months, and then maybe you can cope up with the
Yes.
method. So all of these things you have to be very much aware about, and if you are, I personally feel 1 year is more than enough
Perfect.
to clear CA.
Perfect. So now for CA, I got the answer. Except for NEET PG, if you have to enter into that
NEET
next year.
PG. So basically, I would be very honest. I used to go to a class of 600
Okay.
people, right? So I've never had such kind of personal coaching.
Yeah.
Again, my problem. So this is how I learned from my failures also, that accountability, quantifications, and you approaching people with an mindset of preparing a subject or reaching there is very much important.
Right.
Then every kind of coaching can work on you. But if that mindset is not there, if reception is not there, if you want to do what we have been doing, it just doesn't work out. So it's whether it's NEET PG or it's
Again, Mansi, to mix, because the whole idea is we want to uh, operate with a sense of unconditionality, because if they have everything, they don't even need us, right?
Yeah,
like if somebody is committed, if somebody has everything, they don't need us, they don't need anyone.
Yeah, right.
So, and also, this is what other institutes do, right? Like we did.
Yeah, got that. I am not asking for a commitment from them. I am
Yes.
asking for an intention.
Intention. Perfect. Yeah. We don't even need your commitment, just your intention.
Yeah, just to
That's
intention
perfect.
and an idea of why are you here. So anybody who comes here, the first question I ask them is why are you
Why you're here? Yes.
So at least that much. See, commitment part, that's what I'm saying. And you, both of us are working on accountability. You make them accountable for syllabus. I make them accountable for their preparation.
Yes.
So commitment will
Yes.
come, but commitment cannot come without intention.
Perfect.
That's my idea. Right.
Perfect. So this addresses a lot of things, Nancy. Thank you for the conversation. So if you want to become a CA in 2025, you know where to go. And yes, you just have to apply, which will take time for us to revert. So I think this is a very open-ended conversation, which will help all the students and parents watching us. And in coming days, probably this will be, we can add a lot of other things, I guess, to this. What are the? I think can I add this in 2026?
Yes.
No, I'm asking it specifically because 1 year for medicine to crack NEET PG is it enough? 1 year in abstract.
I just told you, for the proper planning, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Civil is also, one more thing is this. So this is something which we are extremely passionate about. Again, once the model works completely well here, these are the areas where we want to expand upon. But I think the fundamentals are the same. You come with the intent to clear. There is someone who is taking care of the mindset part, this section, and then we're taking care of this. Okay, so that's why we need one attempt by 1 year. So if you have that time, please come down. We'll also work hard to make sure it is only one attempt, because we almost have the same for one attempt by 1 year. So we also intend to send you back in one attempt. If not, we need a year. Okay. Thank you, Mansi, very much for the thoughtful intervention. We'll do more of this. Thank you, Saram.